Hi everybody, Steve here at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California, and I'm standing here under a nice shade tree right behind the gravesite of actor and comedian Joey Brown and his family. And it's funny because I've driven by this gravesite and monument here hundreds of times on my many visits to the cemetery, and for whatever reason I didn't know this was Joey Brown's gravesite. But better late than never, right? He had a very long and successful career in Hollywood, but I remember him best for his role in one of my favorite movies, Some Like It Hot. Are you guys familiar with the movie that starred Marilyn Monroe, Jack Lemmon, and Tony Curtis? If you haven't seen the movie, it's definitely a must-see, and especially for the very last line, I think. It's Joey Brown utters probably, if not the most famous line in movie history, definitely one of the top movie lines. It's definitely one of the most memorable, funniest, and one of the most popular lines in movie history. So in the movie, Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon play musicians who are on the run from the mob, and they dress in drag to hide out. Joey Brown's character, Osgood Fielding III, falls in love with Jack Lemmon's character, Daphne, and wants to marry her. So in the very last scene, Daphne is trying to explain why it would just be impossible to marry. He gives every excuse in the book, and Osgood doesn't care. Osgood is smitten, and doesn't matter what Daphne's flaws are, he's ready to marry her. So finally, an exasperated Daphne pulls off his wig and says, "I'm a man." And without skipping a beat, Osgood says, "Well, nobody's perfect." So it's probably one of the funniest gay scenes in a movie, even though the movie really isn't a gay movie. It's just really about two guys hiding out in drag. But obviously, Osgood doesn't care if Daphne's a man or a woman. So for the 1950s, that was pretty risque. Long before the 1959 hit comedy Some Like It Hot, Joey Brown was one of the most popular actors and comedians of the 1930s and 40s. His 50-year movie career lasted from the 1920s until the 1960s, and he was instantly recognizable because of his large mouth and smile. He died from a heart attack in Brentwood, California on July 6, 1973, at the age of 81. He and his family are laid to rest here within the Sunrise Slope section on the east side of the Great Mausoleum. And as you can see, it's a pretty impressive family plot. The inscription here reads, "Beloved husband, understanding father, and cherished friend, his courage in the face of trouble, his modesty in the rewards of triumph, won the love and esteem of people all over the world. His personal integrity and devotion to all people reflected the love of the Savior into whose hands his life is given." On the right-hand side of the monument here is a memorial inscription honoring his son who tragically died at the young age of 25. It reads, "In memory of our beloved son and brother, Captain Don Evan Brown, Commander 1st Squadron, 6th Ferrying Group, Air Transport Command, United States Army Air Force, Long Beach, California, killed in the line of duty October 8, 1942, Palm Springs, California." He was born on Christmas Day, December 25th, 1916, and he only lived to be 25 years old. That must have been just completely devastating to his family. This happened more than a decade before I was born, and I've never even heard this story before. It's nice to see that they're all laid to rest here together in this family plot. One of the most common comments I receive on this channel is from viewers who can't believe just how modest and unimpressive headstones are for the gravesites of famous people. I always agree, and I think most of us expect famous gravesites to be more impressive and to look something more like this one. I think their fans wish that more famous people would follow the example of Joey Brown when it comes to final resting places. And it looks like someone has left a photo of him over here at the base of the statue. I think it's great to see that he still has fans after all these years who are coming to visit his gravesite. He died nearly 50 years ago, but his memory is still very much alive on screen. And I don't know if they were friends or if this is just completely a coincidence, but actress Beryl Mercer's gravesite is located just 2 rows below Joey Brown's gravesite. She was a popular character actor back in the 1920s and 30s, and sadly died from an infection following surgery in Santa Monica, California on July 28, 1939, at the young age of 56. So who remembers Beryl Mercer? And what's your favorite Joey Brown movie? Was it one of his early classics like Earthworm Tractors? Or one of his later films like Around the World in 80 Days, or It's a Mad, 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 Mad World? Or maybe it was the 1964 film, which I think might have been his very last appearance, in the comedy of terrors where he played a cemetery keeper. Please share with us in the comments section. So until next time, thanks for sharing the memories, everybody.